If creating content drains you, maybe it's time to stop doing it the hard way. Hi, I'm Elle, and I help women create success from ease instead of exhaustion by living their dream lives. Today, we're talking about the tools and strategies and resources I use to create and run a successful business using YouTube. Because what if consistency and creativity and success and making money wasn't about depleting you or exhausting you, but actually about living in alignment with ease and the way your brain naturally works? I'm really excited to have this conversation with you today because I've had to learn the hard way how to create my business without burning out, without exhausting myself, without executive dysfunction, and how to honor the days when I don't feel like doing anything, how I can still be bringing in money, bringing in clients, making money, and expanding my reach without having to get up and push through the hard part. If that sounds like something you might benefit from or enjoy learning about, welcome. I'm very, very glad that you're here. If your brain works in a similar way as my brain, this might be a relief because the things I'm going to be teaching you and talking about with you today are things that you can put in place so that they'll be one and done, and you'll be referencing them as you create content, especially if you're using YouTube. But it's not something that you're going to have to use your limited energy or limited resources or your brain that does not want to have to be going and doing and thinking all of the time, so that you can actually then serve your clientele. For example, in my business, I help women create their dream lives through ease instead of exhaustion. I work with women in my one-on-one alignment hour calls where I help you uncover where you're out of alignment and how to live more in alignment and ease in your life. And also I have a 3-month coaching package called Success Reset. YouTube is one way that I market my work and my business, but figuring out the nooks and the crannies and the details, the optimization and all of the things about working on YouTube and how the algorithm can pay attention to me and like me and share me and that takes up so much mental energy and mental resources. And that's not even my business. It's just the way that I tell people about my business. The tips and tricks and strategies that I'm teaching you today are the way that I can still put the energy into marketing without taxing my brain, so that when I'm working one-on-one and in groups with my clients, I can still tap into and share energetic and emotional resources because I haven't exhausted them trying to figure out how to get the algorithm to pay attention to me. So without further ado, let's get started. AI has been invaluable for me. Every time I use AI, be it ChatGPT or DeepSeek, it really fills in so many gaps and helps answer so many questions that I'm not using, again, my brain, my precious energy to try and figure out. And that is something that I think all people, if it resonates with you, should be able to resource and rely on. So today I'm sharing with you the exact scripts that I use in ChatGPT and DeepSeek to help me make so much of content creation go on cruise control, which makes it so much easier to get to the bottom line, which is marketing and sharing my business for customers and clients who resonate with the work that I offer and actually want to work with me. In addition to my AI tools, I'm also sharing the exact tools I use to make content creation so much easier, so much more efficient without, again, exhaustion or burnout or executive dysfunction. This is going to be especially useful for you if you use YouTube, but of course you can customize it to your own strategies if you're using other social media apps. Because YouTube is owned by Google, it's owned by the most powerful search engine in the world. And so when people are looking for the things that I talk about, they're most likely going to find me on YouTube or through their Google search engine. Also, Google has a very long way of maintaining relevancy on your videos, even years in the future. So I don't want to invest so much time and energy trying to cater to other algorithms like TikTok or Instagram or Facebook when no one's paying attention to them anyway. It's so much easier to find clients on YouTube because they're actually searching for the questions that I provide answers to. Everything I'm going to share with you in this section, I do before I even record the video. Before I even turn on the camera and press record, all of this is already done. So the first step is what I call putting down the bones. And that starts with my client. I already know who my ideal client avatar is. I already know what she needs. I already know what her challenges are and her questions are. And so all of my content, everything I'm talking about, has to be related to her needs, her desires. So I know that. but I don't necessarily know how to translate that into a way that she is necessarily going to hear. I've studied copywriting for years, but that's not my strength. As I said before, my strength is working one-on-one with successful women who want to create lives that feel as good as they look. That is my strength. That is my gift. I'm not a natural marketer. I bring in ChatGPT to help me figure out, how do I translate what I do for the needs that my clientele is already looking for? Now, I think of AI, particularly DeepSeek and ChatGPT, like cast iron skillets. Now, I'm not a cook, but if you're familiar with cast iron skillets, you don't wash them with soap and water, right? You season them in order for them to really keep the flavor in the skillets. That's how I think of ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Once you really give them the information that they need to understand who you are, what your brand is, what you do, who your ideal client's avatar is, what their desires are, what their needs are, what their fears are. And you can ask them questions to help really expand on these. Let me know below if you're curious about those kinds of questions to help you train ChatGPT or DeepSeek to how to better understand you. And I can do a separate video on that. So let me know below if that's something that interests you. Once we're in this deep relationship, they know who I am and I know who they are. I have a whole list of things that I want to talk to my ideal client avatar about, questions that she's having, challenges that she's having, issues that she's dealing with, and at different parts on her journey. After I know what I want to be talking about in the video, the first thing I do is I say, I'm making a video about this. And then I put this prompt in ChatGPT. Please come up with competitive SEO keywords that would make this video more searchable and reach the right audience on YouTube based on this video I made. Please make sure it is within YouTube's total character count of 500. Do not put it in bullet points. Just separate the keywords with a comma. Don't use filler words. Later in this video, I'll tell you specifically why I used it that way, because this is going to have multi-purposes, but that is the first step in the process. The second step in the process is I use this prompt. Write a very polarizing, provocative, clickbait, SEO optimized title for a YouTube video using these keywords, right? They just gave me the list of keywords using these keywords. Put the most important words in the front. Provide 10 options. Can use parentheses. Provide a diversity of options. Speak to her pain, not her problem. For some of you, you might be like, I don't want provocative, I don't want polarizing, right? And you don't have to put that in, but put in what you do want ChatGPT to use for you. I like that because I am polarizing in a lot of ways. I like to catch attention for people so they'll actually click on and watch the video. I'm not dramatic, but I want to stand out from the crowd. Pick the words that resonate with you, your brand, your messaging, whatever it is for you. That's what I specifically use. I ask for 10 options because some of them are going to be off brand, dramatic, ain't right, not aligned, right? And so I want to find 10 options so that the one that is actually resonant and works with me, that I have a couple of different ones to choose from. Sometimes it misses the mark and I'll ask for 10 more, right? But I like to get a wide range of options so that I can find the one that works best with my voice and my brand. Next, I say, write the video description using these keywords. Again, they've already written the keywords, focusing on keyword optimizing the first 64 characters. Use all of these keywords throughout the entire description. Do not duplicate multiple words, but each phrase needs to be exactly as written. Still needs to be written authentically to me, so don't make up something untrue. Dig deep and reference everything you already know about me. Don't use formatting as asterisks. Always capitalize the B when referring to race. Don't otherwise capitalize unnecessarily. Because YouTube is a search engine owned by Google, these keywords are essential. This is how the algorithm on YouTube picks up who I'm talking to, what I'm talking about, who might be interested in it, and shares it. And again, I don't want to spend my emotional or mental energy sitting down there and trying to get creative and write a keyword optimized thing on my own. Now, I have had both vidIQ and TubeBuddy, which are supposed to be doing this. I have watched a million videos trying to understand how to best optimize them. But truth be told, vidIQ and TubeBuddy, I don't still understand how to optimize them. And so I don't really use them for keyword stuff because even when I have, they haven't gotten exactly the results that I wanted. And they don't still sound like me. I find that ChatGPT sounds much more like me. vidIQ or TubeBuddy helps me refine them based on what they understand about YouTube. But I always start with ChatGPT or DeepSeek. The next step is creating the text for the thumbnail. Again, I want it to be attention grabbing. I want it to be jarring. I want people to be intrigued. I want people to click on it. But if this is not your branding, if you don't want that same kind of energy, don't use my keywords. Use something else. Tell them exactly what you want, and ChatGPT will deliver it for you. So the prompt is create a polarizing, provocative, clickbait text for thumbnail. Needs to speak to the specific, unique result that she will get in this video. But do not name the solution, because the solution is why she's watching the video. Use persuasive mystery. Now, I don't know if that's a technical term in business, but that's what I call it. Use persuasive mystery. Push and pull. 6 words max, right? I don't want it to be overwhelming. Provide 10 options, again, for the same reason I shared previously. Don't give the answer, speak to their pain, right? I am getting people into my world who are pain aware. She may not be problem aware, and she may not be solution aware. Now, these are not terms that I've made up. These are marketing, branding, business tools that have been used forever. But if you're not familiar, let me just give you a brief synopsis. Let's just say it's a medical thing, right? Pain aware means she knows, ouch, my wrist hurts. I don't know why. I just know it hurts. Let me look up, why does my wrist hurt? Problem aware means she has figured out, I sprained my wrist. How do I fix it? How do I heal it with herbs naturally, right? She's aware of the problem, but she doesn't know how to do it. Solution aware is she knows I need to wrap it in this particular way. How do I wrap my wrist, right? That's 3 different parts of her journey that she's going to be looking up 3 totally different questions. And so when I want people, especially at this point on my journey on YouTube, people don't necessarily know me. They don't know what I offer. They don't know how I help. And so I want to talk to clients and potential clients who are pain aware, but they don't necessarily know what the solution is, what the problem is. And I'm like, hey, I offer the solution. I'm here to help you. For example, with this video, you may be aware that you're overwhelmed, you have executive dysfunction, you get burnt out very easily, but you don't necessarily know what to do about it because you still want to create content. You still want to make YouTube videos. But every time you think about it, every time you sit down to even begin, you're overwhelmed by how many steps have to be done. That is exactly why I created this video, so that you can go through something formulaic and systematic, and you can focus on being the creative, being the personality, being the brilliant mind, and you don't have to think about every single step in the process, so that it can be done for you. So you are already aware of the pain, but you don't necessarily know that the problem is you keep trying to recreate the wheel every single time that you're doing it. And so I'm telling you, that's the problem. Here's the solution. And I'm giving you the solution right here. The next thing I do is I ask ChatGPT to help me create a pinned comment for people to comment under that makes sense for the video, but also tells people about what my services are and how I can help them. The prompt for that is write 1 sentence that will be the pinned comment. Ask a question, say thank you, invite her to alignment hour as the solution. Provide 5 options. Make them relevant to the video content. You have looked at the thumbnail, seen the title, clicked on the video, gotten the juicy information, and now you're like, but I want some help. I want someone to teach me how to do this better or guide me through this process. And I'm like, that's what I'm here for, right? That's how I'm using YouTube as a way to get clients to me. But I don't want to, again, have to come up with a interesting, engaging question every single time. I want to save that mental juice for when I'm actually talking to a real person and having an actual conversation with them, so I can provide personalized, bespoke support for whatever questions or challenges they might have. So I give it to ChatGPT or DeepSeek to do on my behalf instead. The next part of the process is chapters. Now, I know some people love chapters, some people don't love chapters. You don't have to use the chapters if you don't want to when you're watching the video. But I find because YouTube is owned by Google, this is exactly why I formulate my chapters as questions. Because if people are searching for the questions that are my chapters in YouTube or in Google, this video might come up as an answer to their question. And so this is specifically why it's questions. And I know some people use chapters as like part 1, part 2, part 3, which is not really relevant and it's not helpful. Instead, I like to break up my chapters into questions. And this is the prompt that I use to get AI to help me. Write exactly 5 short SEO keyword optimized time-stamped questions that can serve as YouTube chapters. These questions should align with specific timestamp sections of the video and reflect what my ideal client avatar search for on Google. Write the questions in the first person as if my ideal client avatar is asking about her own experiences or challenges, not in general or abstract terms. Ensure the questions are relevant to the video's content and highlight her personal struggles, desires, and transformation goals. Again, all of this is authentic because this is true to the video. And if it's a pre-recorded video like this one here and it's not a live video, I have shared the transcript of this video to ChatGPT with the timestamps on it so that they can look at the timestamps and say, okay, at this point, she covers this topic that answers this question. Let's make that a chapter. I'm not doing all that on my own. I'm outsourcing to ChatGPT, but it's a brilliant way to do it so that even if someone isn't looking on YouTube or Google, but they're just watching the video, they scan down the chapters, they're like, that's my question. That's what I want to know. That's what I actually have a question about. They can click there and go to that section in the video. It makes it so much easier. These last two sections are not intuitive and they're not obvious. And I'm going to share later in the video how I utilize this information. But as I said, I do all of this before I even record the video, except the chapters part. I'll do that later. These two sections I also do before I even record the video so that when the video was done, I can just populate them and I'll tell you how I use them later. The next section is write a 255 character max video description using these keywords. Write what someone who would actually search on Google. No need to duplicate multiple words, but each phrase needs to be used exactly as written, no punctuation. So this is also a video description, but it's not the video description that's going on YouTube. My next prompt is write a keyword optimized meta title, no more than 60 characters, no filler words or punctuation. I'll tell you how I use these later, but like I said, I do these all at the same time. Then I come on to my Zoom, just like I'm doing here with you right now, and I pre-record a video. Now, I have all these gorgeous bougie AI created backgrounds that I also created using Leonardo.ai. And I told them exactly what I wanted for my own brand aesthetic. And it matches it perfectly. I have like maybe 20 different ones of these. I love it so much because I get to be like in the ideal environment that I want to be in. And aesthetic for me is very important. So as I come on Zoom, I choose whatever bougie background I'm using, and then I record the video like I'm doing now. Once the video is done, I upload it to Riverside, and Riverside is the app that I use to edit. Riverside is dope because you can upload it and you can remove gaps, you can remove pauses. It's a visual editor. Makes it so much easier to edit. Once you upload the video, it creates a transcript of the video, and you can just go in and remove the words that you don't want, the pauses, remove the spaces, whatever, the way that you don't like how you said something visually by looking at the words, which makes so much easier for my brain to just look at the words and cut things out without having to be a master editor. Again, the reason I'm on YouTube is to share my gifts, my guidance, my business, and my offerings with ideal clients who are successful women who want to create life from ease instead of exhaustion, who want their lives to feel as good as they look. That is why I'm here. I am not here to be a master video editor. That's not my skill set. So I rely heavily on technology that has been created to do those things instead. And Riverside is what I use right now, and it's very helpful. I have an affiliate link down below if you want to have a free trial and see if it could also work for you. So after I do the cursory rough cut editing on Riverside, I download it and I upload it to iMovie, a simple basic video editing app. I don't got no fancy video skills, even though I have taken classes and tried to figure it out. And that's when I had to have my come to Jesus revelation conversation with myself that I'm not here to be a video editor. And I don't want to hire someone right now that doesn't feel like a financial investment that makes sense. Instead, I'm going to use the simplest, easiest things, and iMovie is that. So I download it from Riverside, upload it to iMovie, and that's when I add B-roll. That's when I add background music. That's where I use different clips and GIFs. I add all of that in iMovie in the most simple and basic way. Because again, y'all not coming here because I'm a cinematographer. You're coming here because you want the insights and the guidance and the support. That's what you're here for. If I can make it entertaining, I will. I'm not going to exhaust myself trying to figure out how to do it. And I get all of my music from Epidemic Sound, which is also, there's an affiliate link down below. They have all kinds of music every single kind of music that you can imagine. It's very useful. It makes my life so much easier. Fast forward, all of the pre-work is done. The bones are done. I've recorded the video. I've done my version of editing. That's all easy for me. It may sound more complicated than it really is. For me, it feels fine because I can sit here and talk to you. I know the pauses and things I want to take out. If I have the capacity or the energy, I'll add B-roll and other fun things in there. But if I don't, y'all gonna get what you're gonna get because that's not why you're here anyway. You don't care if I can put a fun GIF in the middle of something. But the thing that was exhausting me, that was taking so much mental acrobatics, that was just doing too much is, as I said earlier, I love aesthetic, right? I love beauty and I have a particular aesthetic. My brand is important to me. And I would try to make thumbnails that were visually engaging and they were trash. They were not good. They were terrible. Because I'm not a graphic designer. Even though I have Canva Pro and have had it for years, it was just taking too much energy for me to try and figure out how to make a cute, interesting thumbnail. And you can see that on my channel. There are my attempts, which are not great, okay? They get the job done, but I know there are professionals who can do the job so much better. So I looked on Upwork, which was highly recommended to me, and I found a couple of designers who I thought were going to be great. My intention was to just hire different designers, see which one was going to jive what best, which was going to work great for me. Upwork has a fee that you have to pay every time you hire a new designer. And I was like, I don't even know if these people are good. I don't even know if I like their work. I'm not going to pay, I think it's like a $20 fee or something like that. That's in addition to how much it costs to hire them. And that was for each different designer. I was like, oh, that's too much money. So I went to Fiverr. Now, Fiverr is more like finding a needle in a haystack, but there are a lot of good people on there. And I found some good designers on Fiverr. Now, the one that I really liked, she did 2 thumbnails for me. And then I hired her for 3 thumbnails. And I gave her really meticulous details because that's how my brain works. And she was like, she canceled the order. She was like, I don't think we're a good match. I was heartbroken. I was crestfallen because I really liked her work and I really liked working with her. But my brain was like, these are the specific details of exactly what I want. And I said in my request, I'm open to your vision. I like your creativity. I really liked what you've done for me before. These are just my suggestions and my recommendations. And I think it was just a little too much information for her. So back to the drawing board. But then I remembered I hired a designer a couple of years ago who had made other brand assets for me. She didn't create my brand, but she had made other brand assets for me. And I really enjoyed them. And then I hired her last year to make YouTube templates for me. But when I would go back in to try and customize the templates for the videos that I was making, again, I got overwhelmed. That executive dysfunction kicked in. I got overwhelmed and I would feel so paralyzed because I was like, I've done all of these other steps, but I need it to look good so that people are drawn to click on the thumbnail and watch the video. And I was feeling so stressed out trying to customize and make it look good and da-da-da-da. And then it finally occurred to me, what if I went back to the person who made these gorgeous thumbnails and told her that I didn't have the capacity to customize them, because I don't, and I would hire her to customize the templates that she already made, giving yourself permission to make it super duper duper easy for you. And even though other people might not have to take the easy route, I want you to give yourself permission to get as much support as possible. So she said, yeah, I'm more than happy to customize it. She charged me for the thumbnails. And so now my strategy is once I have the thumbnail text in the pre-work part of the process, I buy a little package for her to customize the thumbnails that she's already made for me, tell her the text I want on the next 5 thumbnails. And then I send it to her. The video's not even recorded yet. I send it to her so that while I'm recording it and editing it and optimizing it, and she's working on the thumbnails. So by the time it's ready to go, the thumbnail is done and I haven't had to tax myself trying to figure out how to make a cute thumbnail because she's already done it. So grateful. That is my recording process. So this is how I use those keywords and the other prompts that I gave you. When the video is done recording, you've saved it, then you open it up. I use a Mac, so I don't know if it works differently on other computers, but I'm sure you can figure out what the exact buttons are that you need to open to get this information. But this is how I use those things. Now, I don't know exactly how efficient all of this is, but what I do know is I'm pulling out all the stops so I can give the YouTube algorithm and the Google search engine algorithms as much information about this video as possible so that they can share it with the right people who will click on and watch and hopefully be resonant clients with me so that they can then hire me to support them in creating lives that feel as good as they look. That's my whole end game, right? And so I want to give them as much information and optimize as much real estate as possible to get Google and YouTube on board and in the know about what I'm talking about and who it's ideal for. So let me show you how I use this information. Let's go into the detail and the nuance of why I did those two other categories that didn't seem to make any sense. This is in my folder, 3 Reasons I'm Leaving the US. This video is already up on YouTube, but if you look at the name, this is not saying 3 Reasons I'm Leaving the US, and I'll tell you why. So let's look at the video because I've already optimized this behind the scenes. The objective of this is to be optimizing as much of the real estate as possible for YouTube and Google to recognize what this video is about and who it's for. I don't necessarily know how much they're weighing this, but I would rather put all the information that they might possibly be looking for here instead of just random letters and numbers that don't say anything and can't lead anywhere. So as you can see, all of the keywords I asked ChatGPT for are here. Black women relocation, moving abroad Black women living abroad, why Black women leave the US. All of these are here. So Google has more information, YouTube has more information about what I'm talking about and who this video is for. I then go down to the name and extension. And that's what those 66 characters are for. Black women leaving US signs to move, right? It fills out the whole thing. So again, if YouTube or Google is looking for this, this is saying, this is what this is for, this is what this is about. I didn't realize I didn't do it in this video, but in the comment section, I usually write the description that I asked for, right? So this is the keywords. This is the meta title, and this is the meta description that I asked for. I also do the same with the thumbnails. Now, these bonus sections are things that I do to get me in the frequency and the energy, and also so you have a little bit of more context about who I am and how I show up in the world. First section is, I don't always want to do videos. I don't always feel like being on video. Sometimes I'm just don't have the energy or the spoons to do it. But what I like to do, what feels good to me is putting on something cute, usually a cute dress. If I don't feel like doing my hair, putting on a cute wig, doing my makeup, and sitting down to record the video. That gives me more energy. I also spray on perfume, and I know you can't smell the perfume through the screen, but it helps me feel more like me. And my perfume of the moment is Jo Malone's Red Roses, which is one of my quintessential fragrances. So that is all the prep work that I do before I sit down to record so that when I come on, I feel most like me. And the link is in the bio for both my Success Reset 3-month mentorship program and my alignment hour call. So if you're interested in either of those, feel free to check out the links in the description. Now, this section is just for my astrological girlies. So if that's not you, you can skip forward as you'll see in the chapters. This is just for my astrological girlies. I have a Taurus sun, a Leo rising, a Libra moon, and my midheaven is in Aries. I also have a Virgo north node, which means my sun and my moon are ruled by Venus. That speaks to why I love the beauty, why I love the glamour. I don't like showing up online or in public looking misshapen, looking like who done it and why. I like to show up feeling like my most me, which is dressed up, turning a look. So that's what helps me get in this frequency and being able to communicate and share. Sure, I could show up looking sideways, but that wouldn't help me feel like me and communicate the fullness of my message. So Taurus sun ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty. Libra moon ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty. Leo rising, the center of the universe, right? I love to see and be seen. I also have a Virgo north node, which is detailed, meticulous, organized, piece by piece. That's what this whole thing that I've shared with you today is anchored in my Virgo north node. And north node is what you're moving towards, what you're living into. If you're not an astrological girly, but you love some human design, this section is for you. I'm a projector. We are 20% of the population. We are a non-energy type, which means we need to be finding the easiest, simplest, most cruise control way of creating success. And success is how we know as projectors that we're in alignment. I also have another business called Success Loves Projectors, where I offer one-on-one readings to human design projectors. If that sounds interesting to you, check out the link in my bio. I'm a certified human design reader, and I love, love, love working with projectors. So if you're a projector, that makes sense, right? You are not here to work like most of the world is telling you to work. You have to figure out ways to leverage your ease, leverage simplicity, but still deliver your medicine, your magic, your genius, your brilliance to the world. And there is a playlist right here. If you are a projector, I talk a lot about being a human design projector, strategies for creating success from ease instead of exhaustion. I'll put the link to the playlist right here. Last but not least, I have a 15-year daily meditation practice. That's not challenging for me. If I don't meditate, my brain is not functioning well. I need it to function well, especially as a business owner and entrepreneur, right? I have to have all of my wits about me. So meditation, that's easy for me. But a practice that I do that I don't ever really actually want to do, but every day I do it, and it helps me with clarity, with creating spaciousness in my mind so that I can actually execute this. Morning pages, which Julia Cameron talks about in her book, The Artist's Way, is where you write freehand for 3 pages in a notebook. When I tell you I never want to do morning pages, I do it begrudgingly. I push it off as much as I can. I'm like, oh, there's something to talk about. I don't want to do morning pages. This sounds, I have this whole song and dance. But as soon as I'm half a page or a page in, my brain just feels clearer. There's stuff that's just taking up space in my brain that helps me get out by just writing it all down and getting it out of my brain and into the page. Sometimes it's stuff I haven't thought about in decades. Sometimes it's stuff that's top of mind, but it doesn't actually matter. It's just moving the static, moving the clutter, moving the distractions out of my brain so that I can focus on the task at hand. Those are some of my practices, and I hope that this video has been useful to you. If so, please let me know any questions that you might have below. I'm happy to make a follow-up. And thank you again for being here. If you've made it to the end, please leave me down below your favorite fruit. Mine is watermelon, and I love it so much. And I'm sad that it's not actually in season year round. Thank you again for being here. Hope to see you on my next video. In the meantime, check this one out. I think you will really enjoy it and find it very useful. Take care. Bye for now.